Good evening. This is Rudy Giuliani. This is America's Mayor Live, and we are on X, and we're on Lindell TV, and we're on Rumble, and we're on YouTube, and we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram, and we're on Getter, and we're on Truth Social, and we're on not TikTok. We don't go on TikTok. Too many Chinese spies. I was followed by Chinese spies too often to have them hanging around me. So we're going to start with a story that bothers me. I'm going to take a point of personal privilege here. So let's look at this. Wrong headline. Well, that could be the right headline. I want to look at that one though. I want to look at this one because this has a lot of gravitas to it. This one here. Take a look at this headline, Ted. It's a headline within the New York Post. And it has New York significance, but national significance as well. Are you able to get it, or are we having trouble? Okay, okay. Another cop killer freed. This is the Cuomo legacy. First of all, that guy Cuomo is running for mayor. He was disgraced, driven out of the governorship for 1, 12 women saying he abused them. Number 2, putting 15,000 old people in nursing homes that didn't have to go into the nursing homes, claiming he was forced to do it by the federal government, which no other governor except 3 other crooked Democrats like him did. He didn't disclose that the union or that the organization of nursing homes was his biggest contributor, complaining about the fact they weren't getting money, nor did he disclose that he didn't follow the guidelines if he was relying on the federal document that said you had to segregate all of them or you couldn't send them there. Well, that's just a little bit of his skullduggery there. I will say in his defense, Murphy over in New Jersey was actually told directly, you're killing him. They just went ahead. This is what Democrats have become. I know you think I'm exaggerating. I know you think I'm exaggerating for partisan purposes. I wish I was. Now, this guy wants to be mayor of New York, and he says he's going to straighten out all the problems of New York. Major problem in New York is crime. Major reason for the crime problem in New York is Andrew Cuomo. This is like a joke, a sick joke. I do believe that I have a great deal of authority speaking on this subject, and I'm going to get very, very arrogant now. I have reduced crime in the city more than any mayor in the history of the city. I took it over at the worst time in the history of the city. 3 out of 4 years in a row of 2,000 murders. We had never had 2,000 murders before. When I became mayor, we had 2 major riots, including a pogrom where black people, with the instigation of Al Sharpton and the incompetence of David Dinkins, went out and tried to kill Jewish people. And we had one in Washington Heights and then smaller ones. And as I said, 2,000 murders, 2,400 murders a year. New York has never had a worse period before or after. We had over 10% unemployment rate. We had 1.1 million people on welfare, growing to 1.5 million. And we had a city in which 80% of the people wanted to move out. And I ran for mayor because I'm a dreamer. And I knew I could do it. Don't ask me why. And I did. And I turned it around. And I reduced crime more than any mayor in New York history, more than any mayor in anybody's history. I reduced welfare more than any mayor in New York history or any mayor in anybody's history. And I put them to work. How about 500,000 put to work? Well, I can go on and on and on and on. And why did I do it? I did it really for maybe 2 reasons. 1, I was honest. And 2, I followed the lessons I learned from Ronald Reagan. The rest of it That's because it was luck. It happened even better than I thought. I do think when things go wrong, they just get out of control and they just slip out of control and they go wrong. And when things go right, they sometimes go more right, correct than you think. When I started, I expected, I never expect not to be successful. I expected to be very successful, probably about half of what I did. And I attribute the other half to the momentum of the success. And now my city is a disgrace. It's a disgraceful city, largely destroyed by the legislation that Andrew Cuomo allowed to be passed because he wanted to suck up to the radical communist left wing of his party and still pretend to be a middle of the roader because he is an inherently dishonest man. And he signed bills that loosened parole tremendously so that, as I said, 42 cop killers now are walking the streets. Thank you, Andrew Cuomo. Also, he reduced all of the other things like bail and discovery and made it impossible for prosecutors to defend cases. And I try to do as accurate a survey as I can. And this is about the best I can do. There are right now in New York City, despite Herculean efforts on the part of Mayor Adams and Police Commissioner Tisch. I would have said about 2 or 3 years ago, before they started, there were about 9,000 people out on the streets that belong in prison. If I were mayor or Bloomberg, probably down to about 7 now. Now the problem they're having is, if we hadn't had the illegal immigration, which was a disproportionate number of criminals, they might have a very enviable record right now. They have a nice reduction in crime. I don't know exactly what it is right now, and it could change by the end of the year. So you don't want to latch onto it, but it's like 5, 6, 7%. That's meaningful. And they've had little ones. I mean, this is an incremental thing. They've been doing good things. On the same time, they've been undercut by the fact that you've had MS-13, you have Tran de Aragua. Tran de Aragua was basically dominating the Bronx and MS-13 Queens. We ended up having these robberies involving people who come on a moped and just rip your cell phone away. And then if they don't like you, they smash your head in and kill you. Just for the hell of it. Well, along comes Donald J. Trump and Homan, and they're getting them out, and crime is going down. And every liberal in the city wants all the criminals back. The judges want them back. I mean, you got to sit down with them like human being to human being. I know the law. The law doesn't require that. So let's first think of practicality, because the law should never be an ass. Should we really bring back people who rape people? I mean, is that what we want? We want more rapes? I mean, you judges in New York, I mean, you are one sad group of corrupt, left-wing, completely spineless assholes. You look at the performance of Judge Engoron or Judge Minsky-Musky, whose daughter made millions with Biden and Harris and convicted a man on less than a unanimous verdict, never told them what the charge was. These are things that are monumental violations of 800 years of Anglo-American law, overseen by a bar association that's so damn crooked they threw me out based on false information. Not just false information, but doctor tapes. So please pay attention to this mayoral election. The cop killer that's going out right now is of special concern to me. And, every cop killer is of special concern to me. And of course, the ones that were killed when I was mayor are of particular concern, and they haven't reached those yet. We're getting close. This young man, Eddie Byrne, was murdered in 1988 or 89. I don't remember exactly. Let me get the exact date. This, by the way, the one they're letting out now is the 43rd. He was shot by David McClary and Scott Cobb. They assassinated him because he was protecting a witness. His brother was an assistant U.S. attorney who worked for me. I got involved in it, more deeply than would normally be the case, although I got involved in all of the Vendetti murder of a police officer who worked for me with a very extremely emotional experience for me. To this day, I remember it. But this murder, it was 2 in one day, and it sort of illustrated the city totally out of control. And his father was a very, very strong, wonderful man. And his son, a great lawyer who went on to doing great things for the city and the state. But his brother at the time was an assistant U.S. attorney. And I went to the wake and the funeral and got to know the family. I left the U.S. Attorney's Office around that time and ran for mayor, and they supported me. His father was on my campaign committee because they wanted a change in the law. And I lost that election. And over the next 4 years, 1,900, 2,200, 2,400, and 2,200 people died. Those are all the most in the history of New York City. So I wonder, and a lot of people say, well, it was good that you lost the election because you got a lot of training. And it's very similar to Trump. They say it's good he lost the election because he got a lot of training. But none of those people in Ukraine would be dead today if he had been elected. And none of those people that we just described would have been dead if I had become mayor because I saved their lives. So it's hard. It's hard to put it all together, and I try not to. And I'm getting too complex. This should be done on either a psychological or religious podcast. But this guy should not be let out of jail. This is Eddie right here. You can see the Christmas tree behind him. There's no possible way I can describe how wonderful his family is. His dad, his mother, his brother, who was my good friend. This is the guy who did it. One of the two. Record as long as your arm. I'm sure, all the defenses about you should kill cops and all this crap, nonsense, sickness. Marxist inspired for years turning of the black community, which we just watched and didn't do anything about. We didn't have the guts to turn it around because we were afraid of being accused of racist. Never was afraid of it. The first day we had a kind of a semi-riot. They said, "Are you going to talk to Sharp?" I said, "Are you out of your mind? I don't talk to criminals. I was a prosecutor. I talk to people who have a good faith basis to want to settle things. He can go pound sand." Never talked to him. Never met with him. Never let him get an iota of the appearance of power. So when he got these people to pay him money, they knew they could never get to me. And they also knew that they couldn't have a riot. So this shouldn't happen. And as a result of this, Andrew Cuomo should drop out of the race for mayor. 43 cop killers released, Andrew, by you. Or to suck up to the left. What, you got any spine? Conscience? Crap. Well, I would say that Putin is going too far now. The president made some comments about it today, and I do hope it's backed up by some actions. The other day, Putin attacked a village which was very specifically selected because it was the village that Zelensky came from. He had attacked it before, but this time he wanted to do major damage to it. Now, let's remember, this war is over, but for the negotiating. How much territory, how much minerals, what are we going to do? You only kill now if you like to kill. Putin likes to kill. Why wouldn't he? He grew up as a KGB agent who was trained immediately on how to kill people. The day that I met Putin, which was at the site of the attack of January of September 11. It was shortly after Trump had made the remarks about the look in his eyes. So I concentrated on the look in his eyes. And I said, and we talked about religion, believe it or not. Because he likes to talk about religion, and he knew that I was studying to be a priest. He had studied a lot about me. And I realized that I just maybe it's all the experience I had with him. I realized I was dealing with a stone cold killer. I could tell about the feelings that he had about all the dead people that were there and the feelings other people had. You could feel it. If you're a feeling person, if you're an emotional person, if you're a loving person, you can feel that. I can tell when you really care and when you don't. When I have to. They didn't give a shit. And I went back to Bush and I told him, this guy's a bad guy, really bad guy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it had any effect. Then I went to visit him once in Moscow right after the children were killed in Baslan. And I got to tell you, we spent 2 hours talking about Muslim terrorism. The coldest bastard you ever met. So I don't know what. I mean, I can charm him if you want. I did. But I'm never going to lose my focus. This is an extraordinarily evil man who could turn on me in a minute. So let me be 3 steps ahead of him. So he killed 9 children and 11 adults in what is, without doubt, an unnecessary killing. Now, I don't like killings necessary or unnecessary, but I completely abhor unnecessary killings. There's no reason except that you want to create problems for Zelensky. And I am hardly somebody who's in love with Zelensky, but I don't want to destroy his hometown. What the hell is wrong with you, Putin? Where did you come from? Where did you come from? Russian crap? You're a Christian? You're not a Christian. If you are a Christian, you're some kind of a distorted, maniacal, sick, crazy Christian, right? That's what you are. I want you to. I don't know how can you look at. Maybe I have it on this other place here. Let me just take a look. Well, here's what I'm going to do then.
I got it.
I'm going to find it for you. Here you go. This is a terrible terrible thing that he did. And
Here are the kids.
You get it?
Yeah. Mayor.
Well,
Look at the Mayor. Look up.
Yeah, I mean these are the children that he killed. Yeah, babies. What's he going to get out of that? He's going to get him a little more territory in Ukraine. Going to make people are going to be more frightened of him than they are now. Just they're pretty damn frightened of him. What a piece of shit. The president said he was very upset about this, and I'm sure he is. I know the president really well. He got a lot of people around him, and they observe and they advise many, many things. Some good, some bad. I would use an expression now of Mrs. Reagan. Let Trump be Trump. Why don't you hit him with the biggest sanctions we have and just cut him off and starve him to death? A little weasel Putin will cave. You know that. He knows for all the bravado, he can't even match up to you 10-1. He knows it. You tell him we're going to put the maximum sanctions on you. Nobody's going to bring you oil. Nobody's going to bring you food. They're going to bring you shit. And then if it really keeps going, we're going to let the Ukrainians use these bombs that Biden would have let them use to bomb you. Now, you already lost close to 1 million Russians. What? By the time we're finished, we'll only have to worry about China. Who has to worry about you? I'm telling you, I'm not even doubting that would work. I don't have the slightest doubt that Putin would. He wouldn't. No, Putin's a very good actor, so Putin wouldn't like cave, but Putin would come up with some rationalization. Well, this is what I was exactly working toward. Right. And some of that you have to tolerate if you want to save lives. You have to be willing to tolerate that if you want to save lives. But I would say that it is true that Trump, for whatever long-term purpose he has been easier on Putin than I would have been, or maybe someone else. Doesn't mean it's wrong, but it's getting to the point where it's time to bring the hammer down on him and smash his disgusting little communist head and wake him up. He is a smart man. He knows you have the cards. He's not like Zelensky, not a silly little actor jerk, idiot, moron. He's a crook like Zelensky, but it's different. So I would say it's time to take action. May I also, since we're getting toward the end here, into serious soccer time, correct?
Well, we're not quite there yet, Mayor, but we're making our way, per usual, towards soccer time.
Oh, okay. Well,
we're not there yet.
Oh, good. We have plenty of time.
Yes.
So I can also make the point that time to act in Iran. It's time to take out all those. Somehow I think one or the other of those two things will help the other one, and I think Iran would help. I mean, I'd rather take military action in Iran than in Russia, because Russia is a big nuclear power. So I'd like to show Russia what we can do and let them see that you're not Obama, you're not Biden. when you say something, you back it up with military power of awesome strength. And how about just taking out every one of their damn nuclear facilities and setting them back 20 years? And also saying, get rid of the damn Ayatollah or we're not going to do business with you. I don't know why we're reluctant to dictate their government with what they've done to us. So we shouldn't dictate governments. Like hell, we've dictated lots of governments that did a lot less to us than Iran did, or that were not nearly as dangerous as Iran. So I really do think it's time for the president to act, or you're going to get yourself into a situation where you're seen as, like your predecessors who, that's what they used to. They used the guys who didn't do anything. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen here, right? Now I want to show them this funeral because this is very, very sad. This is extremely, extremely sad. And it should never have happened here. This is one of the boys. I just put that there to show you that there are human consequences to this. And every day you delay in doing the tough thing that has to be done, another boy like that gets killed and never has a life. 9 of them got killed. There's no reason for that. Putin's won this war. What's he doing? This is the part where you distinguish Putin from Zelensky. Zelensky's a crook. Zelensky's a bad guy. Zelensky should not be running Ukraine. It's going to be terrible for Ukraine if they have another crooked leader. About time they get somebody honest. But he's not a sadistic madman. That gets you in the sadistic madman category when you do this. You've won the war. What are you doing? Just hitting? You want to get back at Zelensky, and you hit his town. People, they probably don't even know Zelensky. Maybe they don't even like him.
Right.
That little boy, what the hell does he have to do with Zelensky? It means you've lost human contact with the value of life.
Right.
And when you do that, and you're the head of a country, you got to be taken out, because you're going to kill ridiculous numbers of people. So I'm hoping this weekend that's coming up, where they're going to have meetings, is going to get us somewhere a little bit closer to a resolution of this. I don't know. The talk was about discussions with Iran at a high level, which I consider to be, please don't get upset, but a total waste of time. I have no idea why we're doing it. I don't know who we think we're impressing. Does it make us sound like we're more reasonable? Why should we be reasonable?
Well,
I think we should sound unreasonable.
President Trump always does say, you have to talk to people, right? Like, he's willing to talk to people that other people aren't willing to talk to. And he doesn't have to be nice. He doesn't have to be friendly. He doesn't have to, show his hand or anything, but it is part of his own way of operating.
I guess everybody's different. Guy should have been killed about 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's a person I don't know. I always learn new people. She's somebody who's known as YouTube's top toddler whisperer. And her name is Miss Rachel. And Miss Rachel is otherwise known as Rachel Griffin a Corso. And Miss Rachel, who I will show you, and you will say to me, how could this have happened? I mean, please tell me how this happened. I do not understand how this happened. Let's see if I can find her. Oh my goodness. It's becoming difficult finding her now.
Miss Rachel. This is Miss
We'll
Rachel.
find her.
Here's a clip of Miss
But
Rachel.
she is, tell them what she does. She has like a Mr. Rogers show.
That's right, and she's been using it now to spread some pro-Hamas propaganda.
Why would somebody like that have a
Here she is, man.
Hamas agenda? What kind of
Let
stupid?
children starve.
What
That
kind of
is
stupid
not
thing is
who
that?
we are. I saw
We have
a
her.
picture
We have her
of
on right now, Mayor.
in Gaza.
You have her on
So
right
you
now.
can talk. You can talk about her. I got her on mute while you, if you want to talk
Okay,
about
I got
it.
an ugly picture of her. I want to.
Well, this one's not
Pretty
super
ugly, yeah.
flattering either. Her lighting is not super great.
Lighting,
Or maybe
right.
that's her face. I
That
don't
was
know.
the only thing wrong with her. You could live with it, but
Well, we have Miss Rachel on the screen here.
Put her on.
Yep, she's
She's
on.
on.
Let's show her.
Right, she's on.
Come on, Miss Rachel.
Come on, Mayor, right over here if you want to talk about her. She's
Come
right
on,
here.
Miss Rachel. There you are.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
There's Miss
that's
Rachel.
a better picture.
So Miss Rachel, can we show her doing whatever she does to brainwash these kids?
Yeah, we're trying right
Had
now.
it on. That's the picture you have of her. Now here's Miss Rachel.
She's a big Hamas supporter.
Like this small. I saw a picture of two babies in Gaza, and their thighs are like this small. Can't let children starve. That is not who we are. I saw a picture of two babies in Gaza, and their thighs are like. If your child was without food and water and was starving, would you view that as an emergency? Would you want everyone to do anything possible to help? All children are worthy. All children are precious. All children are equal. But some children right now are in an emergency situation, such as in Gaza.
So what about the children that were murdered in cold blood
Well, she all
on
she does
October
is
7th?
all she talks about
This is
are
disgusting.
the Hamas children who have been killed collaterally and accidentally, and she leaves out all the Jewish children that were killed,
Yeah.
or all the horrible atrocities committed
Disgusting.
toward them. So it's obvious that she's some kind of a Hamas plant.
Terrorist.
And the question that the Jewish organizations have is, since they pump so much money into this, a lot of it our money that goes through the UN. Was she getting that money for her stupid podcast? I mean, when you look at her, she's an insipid looking, silly looking woman. I would kind of move my kids away from her because I wouldn't want them to imitate her.
And in Gaza, the Palestinians, they have an ongoing campaign with the goal of wiping out the Jewish children. It's taught, it's indoctrinated,
look
it's
at this.
instilled at a young
Look
age.
at this jackass. This is her right here. This is a complete jackass. That is a complete, absolute, number one, absolute jackass. Here she is again. Look at that. What's that?
Kid show. Kid shows.
You know, a lot of these kid show stars end up being very violent, terrible people.
She's got some kind of husband who does some crazy crap too. Let me see what he does. She's shown viral images of a child with protruding limbs depicting starvation in Gaza. The images, by the way, were debunked. It turned out to be a child that was dying of cystic fibrosis, which is why they suspect that she's getting paid from Hamas. She shares the Gaza death toll that comes from the Hamas Ministry of Health, which is, of course, a terrorist Ministry of Health. It's not accurate.
That's believing Goebbels after the bombings in Germany.
And then the New York Post, I don't know. New York Post is supposed to be sort of like smarter and on our side. And who wrote this here? Who am I going to attack? Carl, my friend Carl. Carl, how could you do this? He says, these are the numbers that are given by the UN. Well, the UN is run by Hamas. But there's no difference between the UN and Hamas. And she goes around perpetuating the claims that Israel is just bombing Gaza indiscriminately, and that the death of the children are all caused by Israel and not by Hamas, putting them right in the way so they can be killed. And we're promoting that to our children. Please, God. Oh, save us from this. We need to be saved from this. That's all I can tell you. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal, 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order.
So last night was the college NCAA championship. It's quite a game, a really great game between two very evenly matched teams. And the University of Florida defeated University of Houston in the last 40 seconds, rather.
Right.
The last 40 seconds.
Very good game.
Now they trailed or were tied for 64 seconds of the game. They were basically tied throughout the entire game.
Right.
They got tied. They went ahead with 46 seconds left.
Right.
And that's what they held on to.
Right.
Amazing. Their best player had a terrible first half. Couldn't do a damn thing. Couldn't do anything. He was 0 for whatever. But they kept playing around him. Other people stepped up. Will Richard led the team with 18 points. Forward Alex Condon got 12 points. Walter Clayton Jr., who is their considered one of the best players in the country,
Right.
Scored nothing in the first half, but in the second half, he had 11 points and 7 assists.
Right.
And he tied it up with the key free throw right at the very end with 40 seconds left. And that is what won the game. So it was a
It's a very good game. We watched.
Yeah, I mean, it looked even into the second period, second half rather, that Houston was a better team,
right.
and they were beating them under the boards quite a bit.
That's right.
But when they had to, they made the rebounds.
Right.
Can we show the free throw? We have it. I mean,
We just have the final moments of the game here.
This is the free throw that won the
I don't-
national
I
championship.
don't have the. We have the final few moments of the game. We don't have the.
Give it up. Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, Sharp. He walked. He can't touch it. He can't. 1 second. And it's over. Florida is back on top.
That was after he shot the free throws and put him ahead by 2.
Championship madness. It's a great day to be a
It
Gator.
was very sad to see
They
the
win
wins
the
and lose.
national
Isn't it?
title.
Right.
Give it up.
Right.
These teams were about as evenly matched. I mean, they could play again. It could happen the other way.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to say who's hot that night, or maybe Florida will win bigger if Clayton played a full game. You know, both halves.
Right.
But the coach for, and I'm sure the coach for Houston had a lot of strategies, but you always go to the one who won. The coach for Florida knew they were going to double team Clayton. So he immediately had Clayton try to quickly figure out who does that leave open.
Right.
And a lot of those people that he got it to came through. So that's your team picking you up, right? So even though you're the greatest player and you didn't do what you usually do, score, you still had an impact on the game, right? Because there was a pattern in the game that you could follow and use it as a strategy, which is what a great player can do. A great player can help you win even when he's playing well. And that's basically what Clayton did. There's if you want to look over there, that's him going up to the board. One of his 11 points that he scored. Quite a shot. In addition to that, we will once again review a historic moment in hockey, which is for Alex Ovechkin, who has become the number one hockey goal scorer at 895. Now, I don't know how far he's going to go. Alex has played less games than, I don't know about Gordie Howe, but he's played less games than Gretzky. Was that after he hit it?
But no, look, he's just trying to find a seam and know that, hey, I'm going to try to force it to him if he's open.
Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores. He scores. Number 895.
Back into his own zone there. But no,
Quite a goal. It wasn't an easy one.
Not at all.
Well, what do you think? Greatest player ever? Or does Gretzky still?
Tough to go over Gretzky or Gordie Howe. But I'll put him up there. Definitely top 5.
Can I tell you one statistic that Gretzky has? He's the number one assist in the history of hockey.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And that shows your
Ovechkin's not even
character.
close.
That shows your character.
What that means is he was the best scorer and he was the best assistant scorer.
Oh,
Right.
best passer,
Points.
best hands, best hockey sense, best hockey know-how.
But that's what a great scorer should be able to do,
Exactly.
because you double team him. It's like what we were talking about in hockey.
Right.
Well, and you know the passes that you would want as a goal scorer, and
Right.
you can feed those passes to him. And Gretzky can find someone's tape in the funnest ways.
Gretzky was, I think, I'm not the hockey expert you are, but I think Gretzky was a better all-around player,
Right.
including defense
That's kind of my takeaway from it.
and particularly as he got bigger.
And smart, such a smart player. Oh, had such a command of the ice too. I miss watching Gretzky.
Nobody like him since then.
Nope.
No, not quite at Gretzky's level. We've had some stars, but nothing like Gretzky.
Wow. Wow. So are you getting ready for either one of the two parades? The parade on April 29th for Lexington and Concord.
I'm hoping
the first shots of the Revolutionary War, the 250th anniversary, which opens the 250th anniversary of the United States, which will go through to 2026.
what do we call it? It's a Jubilee. What is it?
The Jubilee. Yeah, we're gonna have a parade and I think a reenactment.
Oh, I'm down. I kind of want to dress in period attire 250 years ago, whatever they'd be wearing.
Now,
Where, are we going to go? Do you want to go?
I want to go. I'm thinking about it.
Why not?
Now, on June 14th, they're going to have a big parade in Washington.
Right.
Well, that I think. we
Flag
gotta go.
Day, 250th anniversary of the United States Army, and Donald Trump's birthday.
So are they? So the army and the country were founded at the same year.
Yeah.
I guess you need to know.
Well, the army was founded. The country, I guess, was founded a year later. The army was put together before we just had colonies.
Right.
They were the colonial army.
Right. Right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Now, I want you to focus on this because this really drove me crazy when it came out, and I'd like to get the real data on this so we can really blow it up.
Yeah.
A 2020 study claiming black babies are 3 times more likely to die when cared for by a white doctor than by a black one was junk science, roars Beckett Adams at the Hill. Its data manipulated to produce a divisive and partisan narrative. The authors of the dishonest study abandoned scientific standards to push that narrative, and worse, the records also suggest the researchers also intentionally concealed data that might have distracted from the bunk they were pushing. Can you imagine creating a false picture that white doctors like to kill black babies?
That's been the message for a long time coming out of the radical left, though. They've been talking about race-based health and things like that, and you need a doctor that looks like you. It's like the fireman that looks like you. It's like, no, I don't need the doctor to look like me. I just need him to, like,
Here's the
take
doctor.
care of my health.
I'm sitting there, right? I'm a white guy, my side. The guy walks in. He's the doctor that looks like me. And he's got to do a very serious heart operation right away. And he's going like this. But he looks like me. What do you think? You think I'd take him?
No, give me the Indian guy.
You think I'd take him? Like that? It goes in, my lungs go. You don't even get near my heart with this thing going on. How stupid. How did we become so stupid? Race, all this crap, stupid. We're stupid. The woman who said, oh, it's really comforting when you're in a fire if somebody comes in who looks like you. Well, suppose you're 5'2" and somebody who's 4'8" comes in and can't pick you up, and you both die. That'd be nice. The best thing is to die with somebody that looks like you.
Sick.
Is this the breakdown in education?
4'8". You might get some good functionality out of a 4'8" firefighter. No, they can crawl into like the small areas and like get the cats.
They never
and
carry
stuff.
anybody out.
They won't carry them out, but like a cat.
Yeah, they get a cat.
No, so they might have a role on a fire department.
They would have a role, but don't let them next to me if they got to save me.
Yeah.
And don't waste any time on the small little crew that has to go in, please.
Yeah.
So, a grand parade on June 14th. For the Army's 250th anniversary, as well as the President's 79th birthday. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
And Mayor Bowser announced it. Democratic Mayor Bowser.
Very nice.
That shows a little something. Huh?
Right.
How long can they serve? I feel like she's been mayor for a while.
How long did the guy serve who went to prison for drugs?
You're going to have to be more specific when it comes to the DC mayor. Marion Barry?
Yeah, Mayor Barry. I did an SNL skit about him. And he went to jail for selling drugs. He came back. I think got elected mayor again.
Yeah, let's see.
Then he was on a city council for a long time. A total.
95.
Bill Maher has said the following.
Wait. Okay, so Marion Barry was in office from 95 to 99, and then from 79 to 91. So, wow.
All right.
Crazy.
Yeah, a lot of drug dealing in that period of time.
Yeah, probably did
They
pretty
make a lot
well.
of money.
Nancy Pelosi ain't got nothing on him.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi had nothing to do. She didn't have any inside information.
Ah, yes.
She was only dealing with people with inside information. So Bill Maher has said on the Chris Cuomo show that the president is being credited as one of the most effective politicians in American history. This is days before he goes to have lunch with him or dinner with him. Think he's sucking up?
No, he means that. I've watched Bill basically my whole.
So you think
life.
this is for real?
I think
do.
he admires him as a politician. I don't think he necessarily agrees with him on the policy.
Only thing I have only one thing against Bill, even all the things he said about me that were nasty and cruel and wrong and whatever. But in any event, it's his saying that abortion's okay.
Yeah, and his general
And in every way,
anti-religious-
abortion's okay.
and his general anti-religion.
I don't have any
fervor.
problem with abortion. I can understand if you're for abortion, but you better have a problem with it. Otherwise, the numbers where more black children are aborted than are born are going to skyrocket,
Right.
Because they're there now.
Right.
AOC was sitting in first class. Now, generally, I would not make a big deal out of that. And I see a lot of people have made a big deal about it. The ticket cost $1,100, and she was going off to Las Vegas for an absolutely silly, ridiculous appearance, two of them, with Bernie Sanders. So people say she's a hypocrite.
Yeah, I think so.
So tell me.
I'm gonna bring up the picture.
Why can't she go on first class if she's a public figure?
Well, she's made a lot of enemies.
Yeah, she has. Yeah, but are we just doing this because it's her?
That's a fair question.
Suppose Marjorie Taylor Greene was on first class. Would we get all upset about it?
No,
I see your.
I would not. And actually, I don't blame him. I mean, if you're a busy person who's kind of doing a lot.
Sorry, I want to respond. I'm trying to get the picture up here. So what I would say, Mayor, is that this is an individual who has made it her entire shtick. I'm going to call it a shtick, as kind of a person who champions the working man, not just the working man, the working person, but really the underprivileged and the downtrodden and those who are hurting for whatever reason. And so I think if she wants to be consistent with what she claims to be her virtues and values, she would be sitting in the back with security. Sure, I understand having security. Remember, by the time you're on an airplane, you've already gone through multiple layers of security.
I guess she's well known, right?
And she's not a huge
She's
girl.
well known,
she's
but
not a huge girl, so it's not like she needs like the room.
I think the whole tour is something about pushing back and fighting against the billionaires, right, or the rich. And
It also, by the way, first class causes more carbon.
And it costs more.
It does. Well, yeah.
Well, who's paying for that?
And that carbon is going to kill us,
And it costs more. And she, again,
because it's also true that if we don't have carbon, it will kill us.
The basis of if she look, I get flying first class makes, if you're traveling a lot, I get it. It's in the long run probably healthier for you and all of that. But she, again, the basis of her fundraising, and I'm willing to wager that her fundraising is paying for this first class ticket, is based on fighting the elite, and so she should be stretching that dollar. And this money oftentimes does come from people with limited budgets. She should be stretching that dollar to go fight the work on sitting in the back. It's a $200 ticket as opposed to a $2,000 ticket. It's not nothing. I know the difference between the two.
But Ted, she has to embed herself with the elites to fight them, right? So she has to learn their ways.
Well,
And
she's not
study
that
their
everyone- the
movements.
By the way,
Oh,
not that
boy.
everyone's sitting in first
That makes
class
a
is
lot of
exactly
them
elite.
crooked,
Right, yeah.
We're entitled to have everything they have,
Right.
except they earned it and you're stealing it.
Exactly. she should be stretching those dollars further. She's claiming to be raising this money from working people, and then she's wasting it on a first-class seat. She can sit in the back.
Is there a secret OnlyFans account out there that we don't know about?
What?
Is there a secret OnlyFans account that she's making money
Who
on?
knows? Who knows?
The mayor he doesn't know what that is. But no, we don't have proof of that unless
No,
Steven has
absolutely.
something to say.
I was just asking the question, Ted.
Canadian economy is stumbling, and it's just a few months before a major recession. 33,000 Canadian lost jobs. Their response to the United States cost them some ridiculous amount of money compared to what it. I don't think it affected us at all.
Here's a picture. That's what I meant to bring up.
Here's the simple fact, and it's very hard because we are nice people. We don't count on them; they count on us. I mean, it's convenient to get things from Canada, but everything you get from Canada, you can get from somewhere else.
Right.
There are a lot of things they cannot get from somewhere else. Not only that, it's going to cost them a lot more to get it from somewhere else because they don't have the trade relationships that we have. And the idea that this carney decided to become a warrior against Trump is about as dumb as you can get. You look at the head of the European Union, first thing she says is, we'll go with the 0-0. And he pushes her aside. Well, I don't know about that. We want to do better. And they said, well, I still have my offer on the table.
But then they're going to say something like, "Oh, your catalytic converters have to be a 0.5 diameter." It's those non.
But who cares? So we don't sell any cars in Canada.
Oh, I thought you meant. I was talking about the EU.
Yeah, and we won't sell any car. We won't sell any of their cars in America. The EU is much worse than Canada.
That's what I mean.
There's no American cars in the EU.
Yeah, and
There better be.
They're doubling down on the whole green energy.
Oh, I think they're scared as hell. They're scared of it. They're all scared of us.
They always walk it back a little bit when the power starts going out and things get expensive.
They make very big threats, and then they get very scared. So, do you know that there is an all-male final in a women's pool tournament? So, this is the UK's Ultimate Pool Women's Pro Series. Its final match had Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith, both biological men, and they beat the two women.
Harry and Luke?
Harriet Haynes and Lucy Smith.
Yeah, I'm wondering
who both were biological men, and they beat the two women. And they say men do still have some biological advantages in pool. Obviously, anyone with eyes, much longer arms, which means top female players are expected to throw away all their training and hard work to spare men's egos. They can't do some of the shots that men can do because of their size. You think that's valid? I mean, pool, I would have thought, pool.
You need to be able to hold those muscles long enough to focus, long enough to hit the balls and know the shot. I think that there's a significant advantage in pool for men.
I always thought pool was hand-eye coordination.
Well, that too. I don't know. Is it sexist to say that men have a little bit better hand-eye coordination?
Well, maybe because we play baseball as young men.
Yeah, and the brains are wired differently. The brains are wired a little differently.
Maybe we were wired to shoot arrows, and you go way back.
Yeah.
If you think the hunter-gatherer and the homemaker, you'd say that we were given genetic advantages in being able to shoot arrows or catch animals.
Yes.
Whereas they would be given advantages toward nurturing and caring. And I mean, we are different, and I mean, that's just ridiculous. Why can't the women have their own pool? Why the hell does a man have to go into a women's tournament? How does a guy feel? I mean, wouldn't you feel like a complete loser crap if you had to go into a women's tournament to win?
But that's all I have in life. That's all they have in life is this opportunity to be significant.
We're talking about it. It is a bizarre thing, right?
Who are these? Who are these creepy losers?
It is a bizarre thing to do.
I kind of want to meet some of them. They're probably real assholes.
I really want to interview.
I don't get it. What makes you? Yeah, that.
You know what? Some of the boxers, I'd like to interview them and say, then have a male boxer and say, okay, try him.
It's a crazy. Yeah, it really is. There's something.
And these guys
There's
were like
something going on.
450 on the list as a male.
Right.
And then they set records as a woman.
So there's obviously a big advantage.
I think it's just very unfair to the women because women spend a lot of time developing their skills. Would react to men coming in.
I think just out of necessity, they would have to. Well, are you talking? I think they would just have to go with it.
Well, the government wouldn't support it.
The controversy,
So
the controversy would bring attention to it.
It would have to be done all on private money. It could get no federal money of any kind. The federal government has prohibited any money to any group that lets men participate with women in sports.
Well, luckily they are. I mean, the WNBA is
and
private.
that's going to end it with colleges.
Yeah, but they also, I don't think the WNBA, it is not a profitable enterprise in itself. It does still require subsidization from the men, if I'm not mistaken. Those programs are often owned by NBA teams.
Right.
And it's like a subsidized thing because they don't sell enough tickets to cover the expenses.
I guess they would if they got some men in there. It became very controversial, right?
That we'll see. That's the way it makes sense business-wise.
Maybe Larry Bird could come back.
Oh, that would be fun.
He could scare the daylights out of all of them. Remember what he looked like? Holy shit.
Yeah.
He was one scary.
Or Rodman. Bring back Dennis Rodman.
Crazy Dennis Rodman.
Oh, he might work out.
Yeah, but I think within weeks you'd have all kinds of problems.
Oh yeah. But that'd be fun. That'd be fun to watch.
Maybe the fat guy from North Korea come over to watch him.
Yeah. And we're doing diplomacy at the same time.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Well, I think tonight we'll call it a night so that you can go get ready for tomorrow. There are so many things going on with this tariff that it's going to have to start working itself out. But I think what you're seeing is you're starting to see the path here that is a very, very sensible and a good path. And it's leading already to a lot of productive things in our economy. So I would not get into this panic that they are trying to create for you. All it's going to do is lose you a lot of money and a lot of sleep. And all of these moves make a tremendous amount of sense. They're absolutely necessary given the way in which we were basically taken advantage of by the world for so damn long. And now all we're asking for is fair play. And we'll soar as a result of that. So we'll be back with you tomorrow. We'll be on Wendell TV, and we'll be on X at 7 o'clock on the Rudy Giuliani Show. And then we'll be here on our flagship show, America's Mayor Live on X. 600 and how many times now, Ted?
Tonight was 642.
642. One thing we're steady, and we give you the truth. And we always end by praying for the people of Israel and the people of Ukraine and the people of Iran and, of course, our own people. And we thank God for what he's given us. God bless America.
So what makes Trump a fascist? What makes Trump a fascist?
He does things without
You gotta talk loud. I don't have my mic on.
I'm not really good into interviews.
Sorry?
He just does everything he wants and not following laws or he's a convicted felon. That's all I know.
But your sign says he's a fascist, and I'm just curious what makes him a fascist.
One of the things is that he's trying to control the media, right?
Say that again?
He's trying to control the narrative.
How is he trying to control the media? My question is, the sign says the fascist Trump regime must go.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious what makes him a fascist. You pointed out that maybe something about his relationship with the media, he wants to control it, but
how
again, you're calling him a fascist.
Yeah, well,
what makes him a fascist?
one of the core tenets of fascism is creating an enemy, right? And blaming those problems on
What's
the enemy.
that?
Oh, yeah,
So-
the paper gave me, yeah.
Who gave you that?
The people that gave me the sign. It's a free sign.
Oh, someone gave you the sign,
Yeah.
and then they gave you the handout.
Yeah.
So are you reading it now to try to answer the question?
Yeah, but I mean...
Can I see that? Can you hold that
I'm
up?
just not...
No, I'm just curious.
Maybe you can have it.
I can have it?
Yeah, you can have it.
Alrighty. So where did you get the sign?
All the way in the gatekeeper's house.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just pretty cool.
And that's another one? They gave you 2 pieces of paper?
Here.
Can I have that one too?
Yes, you can have both.
Oh, okay. So what brings you guys out here today?
Just because I saw...
What brings you out tonight?
I'm here to support the NYU students protesting for Palestine.
Are you an NYU student?
I'm not, I'm a Fordham student.
Fordham, okay. And what would you say is the main goal with tonight's protest?
I think the goal is just showing our support for Palestine and demanding that NYU stops. I honestly don't know all of what NYU's doing.
Is there something that NYU's doing?
I really don't know. I'm pretty sure they're... Do you know what NYU's doing? About what? About Israel. Why are we protesting here?
Palestine
will be free! I wish I was more educated. I'm not either.
Oh.
I came from Columbia. I was there up at Columbia and we came down. They said NYU students needed our support. So I came down. I heard there's lots of cops. Some people were saying it was getting dangerous earlier. I'm not sure if that's true. But I wanted to come and show my support.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained, by rational principles, the reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze. We are able to apply